Welcome everyone to another episode of Agency Life. All the way from the west coast of Ireland, tapping over to the west coast of Scotland, we have Tom from, now you pronounce it for me, Tom, the best way.
Well, I pronounce it Autus Consulting, but it's actually Autus. I mean, if you take the Latin, name for it as well, it's Latin for growth.
Beautiful.
And it's pronounced that way. But there was no way a Scots guy is going to walk about and say Autus. I mean, it's not going to be quite. It's not going to be quite the same, is it? So
no,
Autus,
it isn't going to be the same. Exactly.
Autus.
And where did that name come from, Tom?
Well, it came when I was thinking about starting up the agency. When I was kind of contemplating moving back from living in the US back in beginning of 2016 now. I was thinking about what am I going to do and what's my purpose, what am I going to be about, and I'm going, well, I would like to help businesses grow. I say, so what would relate to that? And I did a bit of research, all of 30 minutes, I think. No, I did a bit of research and found the Latin for growth being Autus or Autus. And that's where it kind of stems from. And also I knew I would be in the marketing automation space, so AUT could be a bit of that.
I see where you're going.
I also came from an automotive background, so I wasn't quite sure the industry focus, so AUT could be, I was living in the US, so US, There's a lot of stories in there, right?
There are a lot of stories in there. It's
but the real one is it's Latin for growth, and that's what Autus is about.
And what kind of clients do you look after? What kind of work do you do?
Well, I think in the early days when we first started, like most small businesses, we were kind of chasing everything and anything, and started off initially in the CRM space, primarily helping many clients with, implementing CRM, initially with HubSpot CRM, and even the free versions of HubSpot, believe it or not. And before I knew it, I had over 50 clients just where we implemented HubSpot, almost single.
How did you get them? Like,
I was very, very hit. In the first year, I wasn't getting a lot of success because I wasn't sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wasn't clear in my message. I came from this big corporate clunky, way of working, 100,000 plus global organization, at a senior level, and then I'm on my own. So It kind of took a big mindset shift, and I thought I could be all things to all men, so to speak.
Right.
And I wasn't clear in my audience, who I was trying to target, with what. Light bulb moments, I started eating my own cooking, putting that type of sales and marketing plumbing in place for my own business. And I went, now I've got a bit of clarity what I was meant to be doing anyway, having spent years in the CRM and digital marketing space. The message got clearer. And then I'd spent a hell of a lot of time networking because I'd lost my network. I'd been over 7.5 years living in the US. Prior to that, the 8 years prior to that, I was pretty much living in England full-time, working and traveling Europe. So for 15 plus years, I hadn't really been in Scotland that much.
Right.
So I kind of had lost my network. So I get out there meeting people, talking to people in huge networking scene and not feeling the most comfortable at times as, you can do. But then I became really into every network I could find, meeting people, building relationships and trust, educating people what you were doing, helping a lot of these small businesses, almost solopreneurs, and kind of going from there.
Right. Did you network in person and online, or was it
in person? It was mainly person. It wasn't even online. It was person. It was kind of feet on the street.
Right.
It was meeting at different events in the mornings and the evenings.
Yeah.
You name it. I kind of did it, and I built up quite a significant network, and educated them what I did. And then before you knew it, you were delivering to some of the people you met, but not necessarily to people they knew that might, value your services. And within another short period, I had over 50 clients where we had implemented HubSpot CRM.
Wow.
So that was the early days.
Yeah. And then how has it matured over the last 2 or 3 years?
Significantly, because, I was able to hire a couple of people as well during that process and shift the focus into retainer-based income
Yeah.
services. You know, the CRM side was kind of project-based, you know, one time, get them up and running. You know, you get a fee for that, and maybe there was a bit of ongoing support and, you know,
Right.
different things, you know, but there was not that kind of monthly recurring, every you were like a taxi meter reset to zero every month.
Yeah, you're
And you're
just
going,
setting them up.
where is it coming from this month or next month, you know?
Yeah.
So I knew we were going to shift quite heavily into digital marketing services, but I didn't want to lead with that. I wanted to lead with the CRM space and then evolve that. And that's what happened, you
Yeah.
know. And with it, I kind of looked to marketplace to see, you know, what technology stack was going to be appropriate, you know, for where I was trying to go for my own business and for my customers and prospects.
Yeah.
And I decided to move down the road with Sharpsring, which I'm
Right.
sure
Yeah, we've
you
got
might be
to.
interested
Yeah.
in a bit more about later.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
before we just talk about them, because it's really interesting that you've come in with the CRM and HubSpot, right? Was your starting point. Because, you know, as anyone who's listening to the show knows by now, they probably go, God, she's not going to talk about that again. But I used to work for HubSpot.
Right.
And I knew about HubSpot in 2008 is when I first discovered them. And then I came home in 2012 and started working for them in 2013. At that time, it wasn't even the CRM, it was all still marketing. So most of the agencies that are out there, it was marketing, and then they brought out the CRM. So marketing agencies are trying to do the CRM or attempting or thinking about, whereas you were, I guess, legacy free, history free, and you came in through.
I came in from a different perspective with HubSpot on day one, because I led with the fact that I'm targeting a lot of small businesses. They're running about with hundreds of business cards that they do nothing with, right? Let's get you a database. Let's get you a sales process in place. Let's blah, blah, blah. And I even provided them a solution that they didn't need to pay for HubSpot. Don't tell HubSpot. Well, HubSpot will know this anyway.
No, they know.
And I integrated every single one of those free HubSpots with MailChimp, so that the businesses that I was delivering that CRM to could leverage MailChimp from an email marketing point of view, because the free HubSpot didn't have it at the time.
There you go. Okay.
And they didn't have the automation in the free accounts either. So we were leveraging MailChimp for the automation.
Brilliant.
And building automations over there. So right away, I was delivering a free stack of tools that these businesses had no ongoing monthly subscriptions, but they were paying Autus to implement and support and blah, blah, blah. And then before you knew it, we could, how do you do an email campaign, Tom?
Right. Then
do you know what? We actually run email marketing for some of our customers. Oh, you didn't tell us about that, Tom.
Brilliant.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So that we kind of started evolving, you know, in other aspects.
That's so interesting, Tom, because I feel sometimes, and I'd said this from the beginning, the minute I started reading HubSpot material, I felt that, and I can share this joke with you because we're the grey-haired lot. The minute I started reading HubSpot material and inbound marketing and things like that, personalities like us, we hoover that stuff up, right? And then we automatically think that everyone's reading it and that everyone's interested in it. And I give the analogy of the Jetsons. You know, if you read the HubSpot blog for 6 months, you know too much, right? And that's how I always felt. And I always felt it with agents. And I still say to there going, today, people still don't have a CRM or a sales process. Just because you're out there doing ABM, marketing automation, you're in Jetson land, there are still people on the ground.
They've not got the basics.
Without their jetpacks, right?
They've got a box of business cards.
There you go.
And they never follow up with their contacts.
Never do anything. So I think this is a good time as we are coming out of a lockdown. I love to say that. We're not more coming out of a lockdown. I can't even think about it because I know it's all going to shut down again. So I'm not even thinking about it. Anyway, through this time of reflection about thinking about our business models, it is time to almost park the jetpack and pretend you don't know all the stuff you know that HubSpot. It's been phenomenal, the information we know from them. But if you park it and you go back to the basics about what do people really, really need today, they need sales process, they need revenue, they need to figure out their own model in this new world.
Absolutely, Claudia. I mean, I always kind of relate it to, if you're building a house, you would make sure you had a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't throw the doors and the walls in before a solid concrete foundation or something, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Now the foundation is getting in place, that process.
Yeah.
You know, in different things, and then you can build.
And then you can build, right? And a lot of this is a lot of it as well. It's all making sense. I feel like I'm having a aha moment, Tom. Thanks for this. A lot of the attraction in the beginning was for agencies to get inbound leads. They heard about this inbound thing, they heard about organic, and they went, oh, great, because I need more leads, because it's hard to get leads. So they were attracted to inbound marketing through leads, but which we all know now, you know, HubSpot's announced a PPC factor to it, that's ads. We know that the long game, it's too long to do the inbound way, can be in certain markets. But that's what an agency was attracted to. So then they started talking about, oh, it's great to have inbound leads. And the sales kind of thing, it took a bit of a backseat as people went on the inbound marketing route, which today I feel is a huge opportunity for agencies to back to basics.
Absolutely. Absolutely spot on, you know. And I think it's classic, isn't it? Not everything. One size doesn't fit all, right?
No, exactly. It doesn't.
You know, it's no use saying everybody needs everything. No. So you got to start with what's the problem we're trying to solve?
Exactly.
Because for some businesses, it can be lead gen.
It could be,
or it might be something else. You know what, Tom? As soon as we get a new client, we never talk to them. Or we're crap at onboarding a new customer. We never follow up. We never engage. Or we've got a retention issue. You know, so it kind of, it's the whole customer life cycle. It's not just let's always get new. It's serving the ones you've got.
Especially now.
You know, I found that over the past 3 months, especially, right? Well, when we hit kind of March and, you know, COVID and all that stuff, complete panic in the ranks with our customers and most businesses out there. It was like, oh, Tom, what are we going to do? Oh, Tom, oh, can we reduce the service? Oh, can we pause the service? Oh, can we stop the service? Oh, panic. The reality, you know, a couple of weeks later after the panic, it was, we never lost that many clients. And we reduced a few in terms of the fees and different things to try and help. And but one big thing for me during the last couple of months is not that we weren't focused that way, but it was kind of over deliver. Do everything you can to retain these customers.
Yeah, and talk to them as a business owner
and interact constantly. So we get in place a weekly Zoom call right away.
Brilliant.
You know, find out what they're feeling, what they're seeing, what they're hearing. How can you help them?
Yeah.
And it might not be you can help them in a way that your service was designed for, or it says on the tin you do ABC. You might have to do, you know, F, G, and whatever.
Yeah, we spoke about this. Help them with Slack, help them with Zoom. Don't throw your hands up in the air going, why can't you work remote like we can?
No, show them what to do. Educate them.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, I get passionate and I'm probably offering a wrong steer here, you know.
No. It's all part of it, Tom. You know, people are going to listen to this before, during, and after. And, you know, like, let's face it, you and I have been through a few different reiterations of the world that's nothing like a pandemic and everything that's going on with the race riots and everything, the lockdowns and everything, nothing quite so like serious as that, but enough. And I think it is important to remember the basics. I think that is really important. Could you talk to me then about, because it's so fascinating to hear where you came in with the CRM and then you started to offer tools. What's your kind of tech stack and what does it look like right now? If I rang you and said, hi, Tom, I've got a website, it's not delivering leads. Can you help me? What's your kind of go-to of what you work with right now?
Yeah, right now we've kind of majored more on Sharpsring. You know, and that's fit for purpose for most things.
Right.
It's kind of missing some things, right? But God, the journey that these guys are taking that product on has been fast as well. So new features are kind of evolving, and what platforms like that don't have, you find you've got the Zapiers of this world, however you want to pronounce it. You
Yeah.
can integrate with most things anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So our focus is having a marketing automation stack that
Mhm.
can do most things, from having its own CRM
Yeah.
to being able to do classic email marketing, which is still a great way of engaging and lead nurturing.
Right.
Having building automations in there so that you can do different swim lanes for different customer behaviors or personas, or
Yeah.
drip campaigns or onboarding campaigns, depending on the stage, your customer or prospects at in the journey.
Yeah.
So having something strong in that space is why we leverage Sharpspring a lot of the time. And of course, having been able to create the lead magnets, like having landing pages and integrated forums,
Yeah.
and baked in analytics, and now integrating with things like Facebook ads or Google AdWords, all that
Wow.
stuff, or e-commerce,
Wow.
depending on the business model. So we've really, in the last 2 years, got right immersed in Sharpspring.
I see. Yeah. Because I would have looked at that product honestly, like maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I remember it coming up on a conversation with like a HubSpot agency when I used to work in HubSpot.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, okay, this looks interesting, but it was definitely a very early stages. How
Yeah.
long have you been with them now? And talk
But
about the journey.
yeah, it's certainly over 2 years now.
Right. Okay. So you're
It's
going to
over
have seen their growth.
it's over 2 years, and it's quite remarkable. You can see the changes in that period of
Mm.
time. And considering I signed up over 2 years ago to be an agent, and I signed up, what I signed up for, was I was happy at the time.
Yes.
But the stuff that's come on board since has been quite incredible. Don't get me wrong, products like HubSpot are fantastic. I'm a
Absolutely.
great
Yeah.
HubSpot supporter. I wouldn't have recommended it otherwise,
Mm.
and still do for some scenarios, right? But Sharpspring, these guys are fast in the evolution. It
Right.
almost feels like a one small family when you're
Right.
working
They're light
together.
and lean. Yeah. Light and lean
Yeah,
business on it.
and so they move things fast and get you involved as well, So, and very much focused on agencies. This is the difference for me.
Amazing.
They're
Okay.
folk me 90% maybe of though Sharpspring's customers will be marketing agencies.
Wow.
Right?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. So do they have a direct team?
They do get direct, they've got some corporate enterprises, direct sales going on, but very minuscule compared to the rest of the business model, which is mainly focused on agencies. So you feel the love.
I see that.
It's a product that's developed for digital marketing agencies.
Now that's
So
interesting. Right.
I mean, I'll give you an
Yeah,
example.
please.
We've got different divisions. I never explained that, but I've got another division called Your Marketing Dep.online.
Okay.
Dep for department, right?
Yes.
So that particular division is focused with digital marketing services for really small businesses, startups,
Okay.
solopreneurs type space,
Yeah.
right? And we're not selling software to these guys because they kind of don't need it, not ready for it in many ways. We're selling a digital marketing service, but we leverage Sharpspring to execute. So we kind of,
Interesting.
and HubSpot, you can't do that quite the same because you've got to subscribe to this. You with me? So
I
there's things.
see.
So
Right. So they're like the
create,
backbone.
yeah, so we could do email campaigns under, special. I mean, its own instance. Its own instance. So it's like it's its own instance for a marketing agency, and you're running campaigns for different customers.
Brilliant. I
Campaigns,
see. Yeah.
landing pages, automations. adding tracking code to their websites, forms, and integrate, the whole thing. So
I
you're
feel like the
delivering,
Starship Enterprise.
you're delivering this big capability,
Yeah,
but for the really small guys,
brilliant.
scaled down.
And you can offer them all of that service, like
Well, you
being.
can offer them a lot of it. I mean, but you've got to really go for full Sharpsring instances to get,
Right.
the bigger machine. But you can start them off just to show them some benefits,
Right.
and then gradually take them to their own instance. That's their strategy for some of them.
Yeah, as they increase,
As they grow, we grow.
as they grow.
Yeah,
Brilliant idea. Yeah,
So,
that's interesting. We used to. I remember working with. I still talk to him, Jared Fitzgibbon. He's outside of Auckland, and I remember Jared got on the phone one day. I was looking after the APAC region, and he had taken an enterprise license of HubSpot. Now we're talking, God, 7 years ago. And he had hacked it just like that, where he had subdomains and was running multiple campaigns for companies on his enterprise license. It's when you could get enterprise for a much different price than it's a different machine, different model. But I remember him talking me through what he was doing, and I often thought, God, that is such a great idea. Now I haven't heard of that. I don't know if it's something you can still do. It's probably not. Right. But that is a fantastic way. So if you've got a backbone model, you can offer services to people. Do you have one person running that division then, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I get involved as well. But
of course, yeah.
But it's still probably a small part of our income stream, but it's a way to kind of whet the appetite, because we're trying to be more focused on getting the full instance out there. And the bigger services that come with it. Just to give you another example, I take HubSpot from my knowledge anyway, the average client that you may have through you having a HubSpot partnership, you might average something like £4,500–5,000 a month retainer. I mean, whatever the average retainer is, but there's a huge chunk of that software subscription. Right.
It's true. Yeah. It's
right.
a grand to 1,200, depending on the amount of emails. Well, you have to go. You have to go professional.
So take that same scenario with Sharpspring.
Right. I wouldn't even hazard a guess. Go on.
We could deliver the same service that HubSpot partners are delivering for probably at least £1,000 less a month.
Wow. Okay.
At least.
That's really interesting. And at the time like this right now, where everyone's considering their budgets,
so that's because the software subscription part is reduced significantly for the agencies.
Yeah.
So it means we can add more value.
Yeah.
To the end customers.
Yeah, you can do more for them, because you can actually go
more for less in many ways.
More for less. Have you done a lot of migrations then recently, going when somebody has come to you like they did in that very early stages in March and there was a bit of panic? Have you done a migration from HubSpot over to Sharpspring?
Yeah. I mean, it's been basics through CSV files really, and just taking everything that needs to be uploaded, in that sense. So it's nothing rocket science.
Yeah.
In that sense, we've not developed, don't get me wrong, that you've got Sharpspring as an example, has got integrations with the likes of Salesforce.
That's right, yeah.
So there's other angles depending on what kind of platforms you're historically coming from,
Yeah.
In that sense.
That's really interesting. And what else has been happening over the last few months? What have you learned? Personally and professionally?
Well, personally and professionally, I think just staying on Sharpspring, not to flog that constantly, that horse, but, just the new features over the last 3 months.
Oh, amazing.
I mean, just to give you some examples, we have deployed chatbots for our own business and for some customers through Sharpspring. Nice. A new feature that only came out 6 weeks ago, now completely integrated with Sharpspring.
Brilliant.
So that was a bit of a learning. Also, Sharpsring recently, it sounds like I'm now selling Sharpsring. I'm not. Don't take this the wrong way, but they recently came out, they acquired another company called Perfect Audience,
Okay.
which is a remarketing, platform, which is now integrating, not fully integrated, but partially integrated. They're working on some, other exciting parts of this, but they've integrated a remarketing capability with Sharpsring,
Brilliant.
where you can now target remarketing and retargeting ads for people that are looking on your website, or they've opened your email, or whatever it may be, or audiences that you're going to start to build from inside Sharpspring and run a retargeting campaign. So I've been trying to get myself more clued up on some of that as well, because as you know, with digital marketing, Clodagh, there's so many capabilities, right? God, you got to, and I'm passionate about end-to-end digital marketing. I'm not just a bit of this or a bit. I like to understand the bigger picture and be able to execute for our clients, whatever the challenge may be, right?
Yeah.
So if the client needs, fast lead gen, we'll look at ads as part of the mix up front.
Yeah.
If they want to go a slower pace and it's more about awareness, we may start with, email marketing and social media management and other things, right? But you've got to know what exists in order to leverage what's right for you to add value to your customers. So I always spend a lot of time in that reflection of where things are going. And, during the last couple of months as well, we've tried to kind of build out, our capability to go after bigger businesses now. So that's something that's getting built behind the scenes at the moment, and all replicating and scaling what we did with the Your Marketing Department online stuff, but in a bigger scale, where we've got a classic three options, of do it yourself, Mr. Customer, and you get a Sharpsring license and you get better support and blah, 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 done with you type stuff, cost you X, and, we do it for you, type thing, done for you type model. So it's nothing rocket science in those three options, but we've really crafted the offerings a bit carefully there.
Brilliant.
So and by doing that, we can still be probably 30% less cost to a customer than what a HubSpot scenario is charging. So if it's 4.5 for an agency to charge a service to, their customer, we'll do it for 3. And I bet we can do more.
That's a significant difference. And it must have been nice over the last few months as well to ring people and go, okay, like, how are you doing? What's going on? Just letting you know there's a new feature available. And I think we've all known that we kind of like the chatbots. I don't know about you, but the minute I go onto a website, I'm like, where's the chatbot now? Like, I'm looking for it.
Well, the crazy thing for me, I mean, even our own chatbot, I am getting more people signing up for our newsletter through a chatbot than ever signed up through a form on the webpage.
Amazing. Isn't that something else?
And that's not the way it was designed. It was designed to say, how can we help you? Are you interested in digital marketing service? Are you interested in CRM? Are you just want to talk to somebody live chat or something else or what, And as you take them down the branches and they eventually want to come away, you go, look, you might find our newsletter quite of value. We've got lots of other things in there. Are you interested? Yes. Okay. Name, please.
There's a top tip for agencies right now. If that isn't on your branch, get
that on your branch.
But email's dead, Tom. Email
is, it's not dead.
Far
from
it.
I'm not saying I'm old school in any way, because I've been in technology and marketing and that space for a lifetime. Marketing's now a hybrid of technology and business, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you can't execute anything to do with marketing without understanding the technology.
Right.
You can't.
No. There's no way.
You just can't. And email, I can see it. I can see the benefits we're running email marketing campaigns all the time, for ourselves and for our customers. So we can see the engagement that it still gets. but be targeted with it. This is the beauty now of whether it be HubSpot or Sharpsring or some other platforms, maybe personalize the content, get targeted with it. Don't just do that email blast of old. Try to, leverage the insight you've got about them and stick them in the appropriate swim lane.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What sort of challenges have you experienced then over the last few weeks that have taken you by surprise? Like obviously in the beginning you had to hug those.
Well, I think initially you're kind of, you're clinging on for, you're wondering, where is this going to go? I mean, am I going to have to furlough the couple of people that I've got, or how's this going? Well, we didn't in the end, right? We kept going, but we didn't have a kind of a revenue impact. There was no doubt about it. But we managed to.
Assistance, Tom? Was there assistance available in Scotland for business?
There's been all sorts of different assistance. If you wanted to. I mean, like you could get you could put people on furlough if you wanted to, and get 80% of their salaries, which I didn't do. There was grants for office space. There was different things. There's loans available. I've not gone down any of the paths, actually.
Right. Was there a reason for that?
Ultimately, I felt I didn't need to in the end, and tried to work through it. And one benefit I did get was Sharpspring. Sharpspring has helped our agencies and gave us a bit of a motivation to do certain things with the product to get a discount over the next 6 months.
Incredible.
So with Sharpspring, I took them up on that offer right away. Things like if you get a chatbot up and running, we'll give you X dollars discount in the month. If you get, a couple of clients or a client up to, top grade in terms of how they're using it,
right? Yeah,
you'll get another $100 discount. I mean, so I've managed to get, thankfully, to Sharpspring, my software costs every month have come down, and that's helped, right?
That has helped.
Every little helps, right?
Go the gamification of it. I know one of the big things that I remember this in the very early, it was very quickly after the lockdown was announced, specifically in Ireland, it's 15th of the month. We were a little bit ahead of thanks to I will say thanks to Leah Vadka, who is a doctor. That does help when you're running. The person at the top of the seat is a doctor. But I do remember HubSpot did something incredible at the very beginning of this, where they give 2 quarters commission up front. So instead of making people wait for their commission, they gave 2 quarters commission up front. And the difference that made to people, that was like, the grants that were available in the UK and the loans.
Yes.
It was just, some people just went and got those loans just for a psychological, they know they're not going to use them. It's just 50k sitting in the bank. They were given after 36 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of bounce back loans and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah. Just
free money for the first year, right?
That's right.
And then you're paying an incredibly low interest rate.
Exactly. But they know they're not going to use them, but they're just psychological.
I've got some clients who've gone down that path and said, just give me the free money, I'll take it.
Whatever it is. But that's a great one to know with Sharpsring. I like what they're doing, gamification, Tom.
So that's good. As we know, there's decent companies out there when they kind of look after the customers like that. And I've done the same on a very small scale.
Exactly.
So you try to say, okay, let's see what we can do here, and you find a way to help.
You find a way to help. Yeah.
You find a way to help, and
what
that's.
What are you doing differently then? What are you doing differently that you were doing a few months ago?
Well, I think I've allowed to be a bit more reflective, in recent times because I'm not saying I was never reflective, but you're always constantly.
Didn't have time. Busy.
Constantly on, so now it's kind of reflect a bit, step back a bit to move forward. And in fact, I'm just about to kind of put an ad out there to recruit another digital marketer, right? And I'm now thinking about recruiting a business development guy.
Excellent.
So, and I'm now thinking ahead to a couple of years' time where I want an office back in the USA.
Oh, really? Interesting. Whereabouts would that be?
It's probably East Coast somewhere. Having spent 7.5 years in North Carolina, I'm not saying it will be North Carolina, but it might be, or it will be, I think, the East Coast.
That's very
But that's something that I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
want to do as part of our own journey. And that's maybe more dream for where we're sitting at the moment. But it's always been in the back of my mind. But so I've been reflecting more on, you know, how can I move forward? I've even been thinking along the lines of maybe there's other small digital marketing agencies out there that have struggled because they're more doers than they are strategic. They don't like running a business. You get it all the time. You're an
Oh, no.
expert in helping agencies, and
Yeah.
you know you'll see this all the time. So I'm not encroaching your space here, but I know you do this
Oh,
stuff. So it
it
might be an
needs, there's,
opportunity.
yeah, with as many of us, as many of us as can help, because we all need to work together.
So I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe if I identify a suitable agency, there could be an opportunity to acquire, merge, bash it together, whatever expression you want to, and you know, get a 1+1 = 3 factor, you know, complementary skills
Brilliant.
and
Yeah.
different things. So I've been thinking along those lines as well.
I
You
think
know,
a lot of people are, because it's now the time to go, what do you love doing? Because
yeah,
and I this is the number one thing you'll have realized this, Tom, that I work with people all the time. When you working for yourself and you're doing it yourself, it's great crack, and then you get a couple of people in. But when you have a team of people, they need different things than you need. You know,
yeah,
you have to take care of the employees in your business in a different
yeah.
way than yourself.
Mm.
And once you get that structure set up, you can have a much better business. But it's, if you ignore the fact that they need a career plan, like contracts, time off, start 9 to 5. They need different things than you need, because you work
It's a different an owner mindset's different from an
totally
employee,
different.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, in that sense, that there's no doubt. I mean, you've got to, so that's where my mind is now, is trying to think about these things in a better
Interesting.
way, so that I can say, well, what steps do I really need to take to go to another level?
Yeah,
And it doesn't need to be massive, that other level, but it's just the next level,
it's the
you
next level.
know,
Well, you have to learn,
whatever the next level looks like.
you have to challenge yourself. You know that, because
Yeah.
otherwise you get bored, and then you
Well, exactly. I mean, what I didn't set out to do here, and it has become that in the past a bit, is create a job for myself. I've been, you know, you get so busy and you're passionate what you do. You go, wait a minute, I feel like I've created myself a job here.
and
That
that,
was not the intention. I was wanting to build a business, right?
yeah, how did
You
you do
know,
that? Yeah, I know.
so I think stepping back a bit to see where we are and where is it going, and what do I need to do to get back to where I thought I was going anyway, right?
Yeah. I think we've all appreciated a bit of extra time on our hands, and
Yeah.
certainly less commute, less travel, less commitments, and a bit more reflective. I definitely don't have loads of time, but I'm choosing it differently. Are you a member of the Agency Collective by any chance down in the UK?
No.
I'd recommend, yeah, if you go back to, I think it was the 12th of February, I
Yeah.
had Dan, the agency man, that's actually his nickname, Dan de la Cruz, great guy. And he has been running the Agency Collective for 5 years. And it's a peer-to-peer network group community of agencies. And if you look at, you sign up, you know, with them, they have a Slack group, they've got connections.
Okay.
And in the last few months, there's just been this real
Perfect.
synergy of businesses going, do you know what? I'm really good at SEO. I am not good at marketing automation. Can we pair? Because as we know, with
That's
any merger,
perfect. That's great. That's a great input there, Claude. I
yeah,
appreciate that. I'll certainly look into that, because based on what I've just been saying, that aligns quite nicely, doesn't it?
yeah. And with any merger, or with anyone who's ever listening
Yeah.
to this going, oh, is it me on my own? No, there's groups out there, there's networks
Yeah.
out there that will help you. And if you are thinking about merging, we all know, and every merger I've talked to and everyone that's really successful, you work on a project together. So you start
Yes.
off, you get to
Yeah.
know people, you work on a project
Absolutely.
together, see your values, then take it from there.
No, you're right. I mean, I've had a few false starts with potential partners in the early days as well. You
Yeah.
know, so, and even recruitment, I've had some failed and false starts too. So you really got to make sure you're doing the right thing for everybody,
Right.
and
And what
that alignment's there. You know.
it is, the alignment, you have to see how they work on a project together,
Yeah.
and see your values. You got to figure out, what are your values, what are their values. What do you want?
Values.
What do they want? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
would you
think.
say to someone thinking about that, actually, from your false starts that you were just mentioning there?
What learning do I take from it? Well, I think, I mean, I'm very strong in values, right? You know, you talked about values, and I've got 3 values that, I mean, don't laugh at me now, but I call
I
them
will not laugh at you.
my 3 T's, right? 3 T's, and they're not Tom, Tom, and Tom, right? They are transparency, trust, and team.
Brilliant.
And I've found where I've had some feelings before, something in there has been missing. If the trust wasn't right, why was the trust not right? We were not transparent enough in terms of where we were all trying to go to, or, you know, and if you don't get the transparency, you don't get the trust. And if you don't build the trust, you can't build a team.
Sure.
So I'm very much a believer in those 3 T's. And where I've maybe failed a bit is I've forgotten about one of them.
Yeah, and and they
You
need
know,
to be. You need to remind.
and I've also had to remind myself that, Tom, when it's an employee situation, they don't have a business owner mindset.
No.
You know, they're not going to work from 8 a.m. to midnight like
No.
you, crazy guy, does. You know what I mean? That they're not going to do that.
Nope.
And you should never expect it. You wouldn't expect it when you were working in the corporate world.
Totally, yeah.
You know,
they're not going to forget to have lunch.
So you got to find a way, you
Yeah.
know, that they're getting what they want out of this arrangement.
Yeah. And tap into that. Fine. Okay, what do you love at working here? What can I give you?
Exactly. Okay. What's going to make it right for you?
Yeah. Because they don't need you. They can get any job.
No, and loyalty kind of doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In some cases, you know, it does. I mean, I come from
it's earned.
My history is all about loyalty, right? But
yeah,
some people don't have the loyalty, and especially if it's not working for them, right? Why would they? Why would they? So you've got to keep on that.
I love those 3 T's for your team, for people that you employ, for clients as well, I would imagine, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. You know, I mean, I even tell my clients about the 3 T's and they go, oh, right, okay. Because then they kind of see how we work. Look, we're always going to be transparent with you. There's nothing we're going to hide.
Yeah.
You know, from what we do, how we do it, to the price of it, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and our building relationship is all about trying to build that trust. It's that kind of like trust factor, right? You've got to get to know somebody first of all. Then you've got to like them in many ways, right? And then you've got to trust them.
Then you have to trust them, exactly.
Right.
Tom, what are you? Tell me what's going on. I'll be honest. I've turned into a news junkie-ish. It wouldn't be my specialized subject on a mastermind, put it that way. But I do kind of know a little bit about what's going on in New Zealand, Australia, Europe, Ireland, England, America, Canada. But I do not know what's going on in Scotland. For some reason, that slipped through the cracks. Where are you at here? We're the middle of June. What's the current situation of lockdown, open? Where are you at?
Yeah, well, you know, we've got a prime minister and a first minister, right? So
correct. Yes.
Boris, the prime minister of the UK, and we've got Nicola Sturgeon, the first minister of Scotland. So therein lies the classic organisational challenge.
Who do you listen to?
Well, I don't listen. I listen to Boris, right? I think I listen. Well, you've got to listen to both, right? I mean,
you have to listen to both. Yeah.
You've got to listen to both, but you know, it does feel classic misalignment at times. In that, you know, Boris saying one thing and Nicola says, "No, we're not doing that yet. We'll wait a couple of weeks." Or, you know what, we're going to do it this way, and we're going to get in first. You know, and it just feels a bit misaligned. So where are we? We're kind of probably running a couple of weeks ahead or behind England in that sense. Right. So they're kind of opening things up. We've just gone into phase 2 this week.
Got it.
In Scotland. Okay. You know, England have been in phase 2 for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we're kind of a bit behind. And I think what's happening now in Scotland, people are getting frustrated and tired. Much so if you looked on Saturday when the sun was shining, there was crowds gathering and, you know, all the parks that you could think of, and there was none of the social distancing going on, and people are tired.
They are, yeah.
And I think Nicola is going to have to move and move faster than she thought. And I don't
Yeah.
know whether she's playing a political game. I don't know. It's difficult to know, right? How
Well, I
can
don't
you?
think they know themselves. Shinoji's been in this situation before. We had a
I
big
mean,
deadline moved from the 20th of July was when hairdressers, nail salons, that kind of was going to be, and I think it was pubs as well, was
okay.
the 20th of July. And last Friday we had that ripped over to the 29th of June. That's that's what the guts of 3.5 weeks
Yeah.
move.
Wow.
Whoa, but so many weird little jigs and reels.
It's so difficult, isn't it? As you said. I mean, it's unfair to criticise
Oh God,
Boris
sure,
or
they don't
Nicola or
know.
whatever.
Yeah.
What would you do? What could you do in that situation? And
Yeah, but what are you
they're
doing?
trying their.
Yeah, what are you doing, Tom? Like, what decisions are how are you coping through this, or what sort of decisions are you making?
Well, the good thing is, I mean, for 4 and a bit years of starting the business, I've been used to kind of working remotely anyway,
Yeah,
and even working in the global corporate world, though, teams of people around the world, right? So you were always used to kind of that type of thing. So it's not been much different for me in that sense. You're doing a bit more of it, because before you might have been popping out to a customer and meeting them at their offices or
yeah.
whatever it may be, or meeting some connections for a coffee. And
It was much
so
easier to do
so
that,
that stuff's gone, and so that's made it quite mentally tough, I
right?
think, because you're feeling more alone in that sense, right? So
Yeah,
it's made it tougher. And of course, as someone, and you might not tell by looking at me, I go to the gym. I've not been at the gym for 3 and a bit months, right?
right.
So that is your fitness, your health. You got to kind of think about these things. So I've been walking every day,
Got it. Yeah, I
and
was
I,
going to say,
I,
what did you
I bought,
substitute?
and I bought myself an exercise bike.
Awesome. Yeah,
Right. So there's things that you go, wait a minute, try and do something.
yeah.
Don't find excuses not to do anything.
Oh, it's more important for your mental health than even the physical.
And,
Like
and, I,
physical
but,
bits, whatever. But the
and
mental,
then and the personal side, family and all that. I had a mother my mum who celebrated her 80th birthday last week. We
no.
couldn't even have a party, but we tried to do something from outside the windowy thing, and
Yeah,
whatever. And so that it's tough. It's tough for people, right? You've just got to kind of, balance it. We've got businesses to still try and survive and evolve, and customers that need the attention. You've got family that need attention. You've got yourself that needs a bit of
yeah.
me time, So not easy. I've not found it easy, to be honest with you, but I'm trying to.
Yeah, but you're focusing on what's within your control.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's the huge thing. And I want to share that with everyone. And I've just started another podcast actually, Tom, called Sligo Life, which is about, because I'm obviously here now and I'm in the
Yes.
west of Ireland. And it is a huge thing with business owners, which I think I want to get this message, and I don't care if I talk about it on every single episode. People look at business owners like you and me and like some of the business owners here in town, and they go, Asher, it's all right for them, they're strong. But we have our dark moments, our weak moments,
Yeah.
our tears, our what are we doing? Oh geez, I should go and get a job. We do have those moments, but we do have steps that we take. We talk about it, right? We
Yeah.
exercise, we look outside. We're definitely not indestructible. So if you're out there listening to this, I don't care where you are, and you are feeling like, oh, I should be able to do this. We all have those moments, but we all know what to do. And it starts with talking to someone, anyone.
That's right.
Talk to the sky, scream, whatever, get outside into nature, move your body, and then move forward just one step at a time. But you're definitely not
You're
alone.
spot on. Step back from it, and calm down and go, wait a minute, we never got ourselves into this situation, right? So we've got to say, okay, I mean, it's came along. Nobody planned for this. Nobody made it happen, really. Just try our best to
Try
deal
your
with
best.
it and keep calm.
Exactly. Keep calm. You're
You know what I
definitely not
mean?
alone. Reach out to
Keep
anyone.
calm, and
Anyone you can. We
and
all.
as you say, a lot of business owners, it's a lonely existence, right?
God, it is, isn't it?
But then again, so was leadership management from my
I was
past
going to say, we're
challenges.
probably
So
used to that.
I mean, it's a lonely place.
It is, yeah, and it shouldn't be. Do you know?
No, it
I
shouldn't be, but it can be. But
I
you're right.
can
If you can build your network,
get your
you
little
know,
group together.
you've got some friends, you've got some family, you've got maybe your business collaborators,
That's right.
people that
Yeah.
you can trust and you can talk to and collaborate with.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
I think you're going to love the agency collective community. And if you listen to the agency
I will
life
do.
story with Dan, he talks about the failures, and I've had failures in the past, you know, but it's not going to keep me lying down, and
No.
nobody's had a book for this. So looking forward to what's coming out of over the next few months. I'm going to say from some of the things that you are really looking forward to, Tom. Number one is going to be giving your mom a hug. What else are you looking
Yes.
forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's for sure. I
Yeah.
think I'm looking forward to some basic stuff. I'm looking forward to going out to a restaurant and having a meal.
Oh, what's that
I
going to be?
mean, or going to a pub and having a
Oh,
beer.
what's a pub? What's a pub, Tom? Can't remember.
I mean, my gosh, it's in our genes, right? We're Scottish, Irish. You've
I
got to go to the
know.
pub sometimes, right?
I'm
So yeah,
craving it.
there's things like
The
that. You
simple
just go
thing.
and it's some basic stuff, seeing some family and friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking for much here, right? It's back to basics, and I think that's one of the things we can reflect on.
Yes.
Is how far, it's getting back to some of those basics.
Yeah.
Be nice to people, not that we're never not, but get those basics in place, respect people, be nice to them. Don't take those basic things for granted anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because they were just swiped away from us.
Yeah, I always felt like that was like a lot of flying, a lot of running around, a lot of like, even though I would get messages, I'd be all over the world. And I remember getting messages from people at home, going, oh my God, are you off again? You have such a glamorous lifestyle. I just didn't know that I was sitting eating pizza and drinking wine in a crappy hotel bedroom on my own. And I was going, yeah, super glamorous, like not really,
No.
And I was there going, but I have to do this. But now I've sat here, I've had some of the best months I've had. I've new clients, I've new sponsors on the podcast. I've discovered new things about myself, got my health and got things kicked in. Haven't been on near an airport, and I don't think I will for a little.
And you're not missing it, right?
Not
in that sense.
Crappy hotels,
no, exactly.
cottage in the west of Ireland. No, not a bit of it. So I think it has been, and this is how we started this conversation about back to basics for your clients. You as an agency or a business owner, ring your clients and ask them, how are they as a person? What challenges do they have in their business? You just don't have to talk about marketing or sales or technology or anything like that. What do they need? And I guarantee most of them right now can't figure out how to keep their remote working team motivated, because they're wigging out.
You're spot on there, because I think the danger is with a lot of digital marketing agencies, because we work with the technology components 24/7, they've forgot or never knew about it or mastered the art of human interaction, right? Old school, whereby you picked up a phone and you talked to somebody.
Yeah. Or my favorite thing my favorite thing at the moment is because I switched off the voicemail on my phone ages ago. It's actually a trick I learned from my father. He never had voicemail. He was the vice president. It was like vice president or something of Ticketmaster Europe, right?
Right.
Never, all the time he had a mobile phone, never had his voicemail switched on. Whole attitude was, if it's
important, they'll call me back.
That was the whole attitude. I could never leave voicemail for him. I left the first voicemail for him recently because he got WhatsApp, and I left him a message, a voice, and I was like, and he had to listen to it, and I was like, ha ha ha, I got you. But that is one of my favorite things to do right now with clients, ex-clients, anyone, is just go, if I'm thinking about them, I just leave them a, hi, how's it going? What's going on in your world? This is what's happening with me. And you leave them a little message. So you know the technology, you use the technology. Don't talk to them about what marketing do you need. You're going, how's it going? How's it going run the business? How are you doing?
I'm just checking in.
That's
personally.
It. From one of my ex-clients, I learned about a fitness regime that I'm now in the middle of, and now I'm able to talk to him about it instead of going, how, do you need anything? It's like, he has everything he needs, So that's, I think, about extending the relationship. We're very comfortable with all this technology. And if you're sitting there going, oh, why are my clients not comfortable? go and reach out and help them. Do a little Slack class, like how to use Slack.
Find out why, you know.
Find out why, find out what's going on. Any tips for there, as we're heading out into this, look, I'm looking out the window. It's like winter here. Is it like winter with you?
Yeah, it's not too great today, to be honest. Bit of rain and wind, and it's certainly not.
Forward to that now at all.
It's not like end of June, is it? Really? No.
It is the end of June, but look at. We might be. It might come back. We had a great summer. It was early on. But tell us, Tom, as we head out, any tips for agencies right now? We've given a lot of advice. We've given a lot of tips. But what's your kind of go-to tip for agencies out there right now that are looking ahead to the next 6 months?
Oh, very good question, Claudia. I would say, I mean, again, what I've been doing the past few months has been a lesson for, I don't know if it's a lesson or not, but it's that retention focus, because it's so far more difficult to get a new client than it is keep an existing one. And that's, history tells us that, right? So nothing new, rocket science in that type of thing, but it's easy to forget about them. Because you've got them on board, you've onboarded them, you've started up that monthly service, you might send them a monthly report and whoopee-doo, right? Talk, engage with them, find, just what you were saying, just find out more about them. How more can you help them? Focus on retention. Because through that process, there might be other things you can do anyway. You end up increasing the value and what you get for that.
Yeah, that you are easy to do, automatic to do, but definitely ring them and find out how they are, what do they need. Or if you get that email going, look, we need to reduce our budget, we need to stop. A no is not the end. A no could just be right now, and just don't lose the cool. Like, ring them up and go, God, so sorry. How are you? Are you okay? They're probably stressed. They could be furloughing people. They're up to their eyes. Talk to them like a human being.
Exactly. So prioritize your existing clients. Yeah, I mean, prioritize getting new ones, but don't forget about the existing ones. Look after them. And I would say eat your own cooking. And by that I mean all the stuff that you preach to your own clients about, use for your own business.
Right.
So I mean, I know when someone signs up for your marketing department online, one of the services, it's automated. The onboarding is automated.
That's right.
I mean, we built the back end so that someone signs up or they're interested, they get a nice email explaining the service and a call to action, sign up here, they be form to fill in, boom, they get a contract immediately in their inbox, because that's automated as well. And then they sign it electronically, then they get a signed version back, and then, we get an onboarding questionnaire that goes to them, and automated.
Yeah.
So try and, eat some of your own cooking.
I love that line. I haven't heard that before. Tom, I want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. I've learned so much about Sharpspring, about your business, about everything that you've been through, and I really look forward to talking to you again soon.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay.